Hello Gemini, and welcome back to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. For those of you who've been here before, thank you very much for coming back, and for those of you who have just come over to check it out, thank you very much for coming across and you're welcome. Glad to have you here. So I am an intuitive tarot reader of over 30 years experience. My name's Colette, and this reading today is a reading for Geminis, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising and Cusp Geminis. And if you don't know where those placements are, there will be a free natal link in the description box down below for you to go and check that out. As always, it's always there in all of my readings, because it helps to know for yourself where your moon is, where your rising is, and your Venus, specifically your Venus at this time, because this is a love reading, and Venus at this moment is in the sign of Libra. So she's looking for fairness, balance, harmony, justice, diplomacy, all those kind of things within a relationship at this time. So if you don't know where your Venus is, check out the natal link, and once you find out where your Venus sign is, you can then also check out the sign, or the reading, sorry, for that particular sign as well, not only on my channel but on other tarot readers' channels as well. It kind of opens up the door to other perspectives of what's happening in your life, so also your rising sign and your moon sign as well. So this is as I was saying, this is a love reading, so I'm going to be using two decks of cards, one for yourself, Gemini, and one for the person that you have an energetic connection with, the person who is in your life, maybe in a relationship with them. Maybe it's an emotional connection you have, or an intellectual connection that you have. They could be somebody who is helping to guide you or teach you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a one-to-one relationship here. Often they are one-to-one relationships, but they don't always have to be that way. They can also be a child that's in your life as well, or a family member, but it's a love relationship. So anybody that you are close to and have an energetic connection with. Also, cross watchers, before I forget, because I'm not very good at remembering you, I'm afraid, but just be aware that the cards, because this is the deck that I will be using for you cross watchers, and this is the deck that I am using for Gemini. But if it makes more sense to swap those cards over as I do the reading, if you're listening to it and you're thinking, that sounds like my story rather than the other way around, then just swap the cards over. However it resonates with you is the way that you take it. Anything else? Not at this time, I don't think. So I will just get straight into the reading, and I'm going to say that we're starting your reading off with this card here. For those of you who haven't been to my channel before, I separate a suit of cup cards to get an overall kind of picture of what's happening at this time. And this is the Good Tarot deck. You may well have seen it before on other channels with other readers. This is the Five of Water. It's known as water rather than cups in this particular tarot. And the five here is saying that there is a sense of deep disappointment and despair. And I say that on a, it's like really, really deep. And one of the reasons that I'm saying this is because this card has appeared 4 times now. Yeah, 4 times. This card itself came out 3 times while I was shuffling, and also when I was like it fell out at the end of the picking the cards type of shuffle as well, because I do other shuffles beforehand and other things. But anyway, so yeah, it came out or showed itself 3 times it actually fell on the floor at one point as well, so that was kind of an indication. And I did kind of think to myself, I wonder if you are going to show yourself then again. But we also have it here as well in the deck of cards that I will be using for the cross watcher. So this is 4 times that this card has come out. So it is implying that this situation is filled with a lot of sadness, a lot of sorrow, a lot of overwhelming emotion that somebody here, Gemini, or yourself, or the cross watcher, or the person that you have this energetic connection with, somebody is not able to let this go at this time. It's overwhelming. If you look at her face, if you look at her hand, she's kind of just like total despair. This is how this card comes to me, as total despair, this person. And for me, this kind of heart shape here as well, it's like saying that this is dragging them down. They are being dragged down to the very depths of the ocean here, of their, which is representative of their emotions. Or your emotions, Gemini. Somebody here is being really kind of put through the ringer, is how it's kind of coming through for me today. And at the bottom of this suit here, because I like to look at the bottom card here as well, we have the 8 of Cups. So this is about somebody or a situation that is needing to be left behind, walked away from, but again I get the feeling that somebody here is not wanting to do so. 8 of Cups in reverse for me is a reluctance. That when it's in a reversed position, it's saying that somebody here is holding on, is not wanting to let go. Somebody is determined to try and get to the bottom of something here, no matter how painful it is for them, how much despair they're feeling. And it's like the more they kind of look into it, the more they hold on to it, the more emotion is coming up for them, the more they're kind of staying in that energy. It just feels a really overwhelming. And for it to come out 4 times is quite phenomenal. I mean, this card itself came out 3 times, as I was saying, and for it to be on the bottom of this deck as well after I finished shuffling this particular deck earlier, it was just like, oh wow, it's there again. At the bottom of your deck, Gemini, we have the 10 of Cups, and it is upright as well. So this is about happiness, fulfillment, reaching that place within yourself where you are feeling content and happy about a situation. But that's not really what's coming through here, interestingly. So maybe this is what you are looking for, hoping for, searching for, because the first card that we get here is the World card. And this is saying that this is an ending, a completion of a cycle, a major cycle. It could be a karmic cycle here. But it's something that is coming to a close, something that you're being asked to put a finality on it, or a final, what's the word I'm looking for here? A final, yeah, like an ending, like closing that book, putting the lid down on that chapter, so to speak, and kind of saying, right, that's it, that's the end of that cycle. I'm not doing that again, is how it's coming through for me here. It's like something has been learnt, something has been realised here, because you also have this wreath around this world here, which is always a sign of victory. A wreath is a victorious symbolic symbol. Glory, victory, achievement, something that has been accomplished, and it's like a crown in glory when you get to that end, when you get to that successful place of having gone through something that is not easy. It's kind of a recognition of what you have had to achieve, experience in order to get to this place. But it is covered by the Six of Pentacles here. This is the challenging energy. And it talks of a balancing energy. It talks of compromise. It talks about realizing that in order to receive, you have to be able to give, and in order to give, you have to also be able to receive. It is that two-way kind of flow of energy, if you like, to keep things balanced, to keep things fair, and to keep things just, which is kind of where we're talking about with this Libra energy at this time as well, with Venus in Libra. This is your challenge. This is what you are wanting to achieve here with this, as you end out this cycle here, Gemini. You're wanting this success, this outcome of fairness, balance, honesty, compromise, as in somebody who is also able to give to you as much as you are able to give to them. But you also have to be able to receive as well. And this is often what happens in a relationship, is one person is much more giving than the other, and the other person is more open and receptive than the other, but it causes an imbalance because the person who is much more giving doesn't allow themselves to receive. And if you think about how much enjoyment when it is to a person who gives to another person, the enjoyment they get by giving, if they can't learn to receive in the same fashion, then what they are doing is they are blocking that other person from also experiencing the same joy that they receive when they give, if you follow my meaning. So it's kind of saying that, you know, if there has been this imbalance, it needs to be looked at, because it is still, there is this challenge to close out this cycle with fairness and justice and compromise here. So it could have something to do with a financial situation. It could have something to do with if you're ending a relationship, or if you're ending a marriage here, or something has come to the end of a cycle, that you need to have this honesty and this fairness and balance, that you have to be able to still come from a place within yourself of sharing what you still have in that sense, rather than trying to kind of hold on to as much as you can here. What's in your head and what you are aware of at this time, Gemini, is your own energy of the Knight of Swords here. It's in reverse. The Knight of Swords is usually a very fast moving, quick thinking, thinks on their feet type of energy, an energy that gets swept along quite easily. Like you can make your mind up about something, and then like 5 minutes later you had to kind of change it and change all your plans, and it's like everything's up in the air and nothing seems settled at this time. Your brain may be also working overtime at this time. Your thoughts, your mind There's like nothing is really resolved, or it's constant change. It's constant change is how it's coming through for me here. It's like 1 minute you think this, and then you're thinking something else, and then you kind of like think you're settled on another thing, and then you're like, no, that's not right. I need to rethink that. I need to replan that. And so that's what this energy is saying to me here, that there has been a lot of turbulence, a lot of commotion in your head, a lot of kind of backwards, forwards, thinking this out and that out, and trying to come to maybe also trying to come to some balance here within this as well, with this situation. But it feels like a sense of up and down, backwards and forwards, really kind of not a settled energy at all. Also with this sword here as well, that has kind of been lit up, that can also represent a sense of using your sword in a way of like a realization, like suddenly realizing something, seeing something clearly that you up to this point haven't been able to get a grasp on, because it's kind of illuminated. It's almost like, you know, the truth is suddenly like shone in the dark, so to speak. Like it suddenly kind of became obvious, and that may also have something to do with why you feel this kind of backwards and forwards and up and down energy. It's kind of thrown you out, is how it feels, Gemini. Like a situation, something has kind of thrown you off balance. Because we also have the Nine of Swords here as well, the energy that you're working through or working with at this time. The 9 is almost completion, it's almost the 10, it's saying it's almost got to that point of being able to put this to rest, to like turn that page and move into a new cycle, a new energy. But there has been a lot of stress, there's been a lot of fears, there's been a lot of kind of worry. It is the card of nightmares, not being able to sleep at night, insomnia, keeping you up. This kind of energy, this kind of like, you know, you may have even found that you've gone to bed, gone to sleep, and kind of got woken up through the night, possibly many times, like disturbed for no reason whatsoever, just kind of awake, and your mind starts racing again and you can't get back to sleep again, and you're trying to solve all the problems and everything at this time. It just feels like there's a lot of issues here, Gemini, that you're kind of trying to resolve, a lot of things that you're trying to make sense of and balance up and be fair somehow, find some form of security there as well, is how that's come through now. This Six of Pentacles, kind of trying to find some sense of security amongst it all. And it could well be, like I was saying, a relationship that is coming to an end. It does feel that way with this Eight of Cups here as well. It does feel like something that is having to be walked away from, left behind. And this could also be your energy here as well, because as I said, it came out many times. So it could be the pair of you here, you and this other person you have this energetic connection with, who are both feeling this sense of despair and not being able to find emotional kind of connection, or emotional like resolve things on an emotional level at this time, or understand on an emotional level what has gone down or what is going down at this time. You could both be kind of in that same space, coming from that same kind of despairing energy of not being able to see a solution, a way of resolving the problems and the issues here. Which again, with this Nine of Swords, would imply the same energy as well. Underneath it all though, in your subconscious energy, in the subconscious realm here, you do have the Star card. And the Star card is saying that you haven't given up hope on this. Somehow, somewhere, deep down within you, there is still this sense of hope that things could change. That this is kind of a destiny, that this is meant to be. You feel something very strongly here. You feel very connected here, which is also coming through for me here with this card as well, this connecting to everything kind of energy. Whatever, whether it's the situation itself, Gemini, or the person that you have this energetic connection with, it does feel like it's a kind of destined to be situation. And also this spark here I find quite interesting because it's kind of reflected there within her kind of third eye energy as well. So it could be saying that at this time it's all, everything is in your mind. It's like you're too much in your head space here, and you're not trusting your inner knowing here, your inner sense of being, and your connection to the bigger understanding of things. But there is this energy of not giving up, of not giving up hope here, of still wishing, still wanting, still hoping, still trying to keep the flow going as well, is kind of how I'm seeing it here with her in this water. There's still this pouring out of these jugs, which can represent, it's very similar in some ways to the Temperance card as well, this Star card, as in trying to kind of keep that flow going backwards and forwards at this time. And the pendulum in the background is also kind of ticking backwards and forwards as well. And you may feel as well that possibly that you have lost out on an opportunity here, or that time is ticking away, that you're kind of losing that opportunity or that chance to change things here, Gemini. With the Page of Wands energy moving in here as well. This is saying to me, and it's come out with the Five of Wands in reverse. And the Page of Wands, all the pages are young energy. They're energy that's learning about themselves. They're energy that's kind of still, with this energy here, I'm getting this sense of still holding on to that dream. It's that same kind of thing, that it's very creative energy, it's very fiery, it's passionate. It's a young energy though, so it's still, it's like going, almost like going back, turning the clock back somehow. And possibly what you're also wanting to do here is turn back that time, turn the time back to a time where things were more easier going. I get the feeling that I just get the feeling that you haven't given up, that you still want to, like, you still find this person very attractive here. You still have this strong it's just like this strong attraction to them, like you just feel as though they are very right for you. Like you want to rekindle something here, you want to relight this, you want to keep something alive. You want to re-experience it. It just feels like you haven't given it up. It's something you haven't given up. And the oranges in the background as well are kind of a sign of fertility and growth and a sense of it feels like a sense of belief. You believe that you can do this. You believe that it is possible for you to rekindle this, to take this rod here and to bring it back to life, is how it's feeling. But in order to do so, Gemini, you are going to have to battle through your own doubts, your own fears, your own worries, your own stresses, all of this stuff. All of this stuff here. But this is more, this is the thing, yeah, this is about your, like I was saying, your self-doubts. This is the energy of when you try, when you think about it, and this is in the future, but when you think about it, this arises, this self-doubt, this I can't, you know, what happens if I get rejected? What happens if I offer this wand here, if I bring, you know, if I try to bring this back to life, what happens if I just end up falling flat on my face, so to speak? If, you know, it's the fears, it's the stresses, it's the self-doubt, not enough belief in yourself. And that's because you're coming from this place of immaturity here, in a way, Gemini. Immaturity in the sense that this is a page rather than it being a knight or a queen or a king. It's like the pages are learning about life as they go. And they can only learn and only grow by experience here. But where it's kind of leading you to, the path it's leading you down here, is one of self-defeat, because it is in reverse. So you are feeling defeated, possibly even before you start you're feeling defeated. You're feeling as though you're not going to be able to do this. And it's come out with him kind of facing that way, and this energy is kind of behind him, so it feels as though this is the energy that is behind this, so to speak. So maybe this is also about you finding some courage here, stepping forward with some courage. To try and defeat your own belief here about yourself, not being good enough, not being not being enough, just not being enough, not being happy enough or creative enough, or it just feels like this kind of young innocent energy that is wanting to step forward, but is already feeling defeated before you do so, Gemini. And maybe that's also what this Five of Water is saying here as well, that there's just so much despair within all this. It's kind of like you don't know where to start, even. So the card that this person has come out for them is the Seven of Wands in reverse as well. So they are in this energy of feeling that they are also having to battle something here, but they're battling more with things outwardly, having to take a stand. It's in reverse, so they're feeling as though this is like a constant thing in a way. This is something that just keeps happening over and over again. This standing up for themselves, this energy of having to, and this may not just be with you, Gemini, but this may just be a kind of pattern of theirs, of feeling that they're constantly having to explain themselves, justify themselves, stand up for what they believe in, what they're about, who they are, that kind of energy. So this could, just like I was saying, this could be a pattern that they have kind of found themselves in at this time of just repeating this energy of trying to make people, or feeling like they need to make people understand who they are, where they're coming from. It's a very fiery energy. I also get the feeling it's an energy that doesn't like to be defeated as well. It doesn't like to be wrong. But it is interesting that you've got this more energy of more self-doubt and inner struggle, and they've got more of this outer, like they're much more prone to outer bursts of competitiveness, perhaps, as well. When it's upside down, this can be a competitive energy. And it is covered here by the Nine of Wands as well. So there is this struggle going on for this person at this time. They are also trying to move on, but they're having problems in doing so. Because this is where they want to be. They want to be in this calmer water here, and this is their kind of their future, which is all lit up and very inviting and has this kind of creative energy, but they're caught in this major kind of storm here, this stormy energy that is kind of keeping them in that past. It's keeping them in this energy here. Because they can't let go of something, they can't move beyond it. Whatever it was, something has stopped this person from being able to move beyond it. And again, it may not be within your relationship here, Gemini. This could be something that has been this person's past that they are bringing through with them. That it's their baggage here. And their baggage that maybe makes them argumentative and makes them feel as though they have to justify who they are and stand up for who they are, but it doesn't make for an easy experience. And so they need to let this go. Their challenge here is to let something go, to let their past go, to move to calmer waters without bringing all of this with them. whatever all of this may be. So it's interesting because the Nine of Wands is also a combination of fire and water as well. So there is a lot of turmoil, a lot of emotional upset, a lot of grief for this person, it feels like. As I was saying, despair, grief, feeling like they're never going to get out of it. But interestingly, they have the World as well. And the World for them has come out over the top of this Knight of Swords of yours. So it does feel as though the pair of you, and I did feel this earlier as well, that you're both kind of in similar energies. This is also the closing out of a cycle for this person as well. It's what's in their head, it's what they're aware of, that they need to do this. They are aware that they need to drop this baggage. They are aware that they need to complete something here. But they're finding it really hard to do so. But they do know that they need to, in order to start something afresh, in order to create something that's a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for here? That's a lot more emotionally where's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? Emotionally, like freeing, or there is a sense of needing to balance. Again, that was something that you got here as well, this need for balance or compromise as well, in order for this to get anywhere or change, or but it feels to me like there's an emotion, they need to kind of emotionally clear something out, to drop that baggage, which is a lot easier said than done. But it does feel like they are aware. They are aware of their problems. They are aware of the fact that they do need to close this cycle out. They do need to move on to a new beginning, to start something fresh. Put an end to something emotionally. They need to put an end to something emotionally. So let's see. With the Nine of Swords here for yourself, Gemini, let's see what this person is dealing with at this time and has been dealing with. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So this could be a family situation that this person is leaving, moving out from the home, possibly a divorce. It's leaving something secure, something safe, something that they've built up, something that they thought at one point they were going to be in this situation kind of like forever. It was like, you know, they didn't see this changing. They didn't think that they would be going through what they are going through now. This wasn't part of their plan, so to speak. The actual ending of this, and this is how it feels. This is the ending of something. This is why they're having trouble leaving something here and moving away. Could also be why they're having to stand up for themselves a lot more than usual as well, or why they're feeling that they need to do this. Justification or justifying their actions. There is, like I said, there is a lot of despair here as well. Yeah, I just get the feeling this person, it wasn't part of what they thought they would be going through. And this could be your relationship as well that's breaking up here with this person, Gemini. For some of you, and for others of you, it could be that this is a past relationship that this person is breaking up with, and they are in the process of doing so. But you are also a part of this dynamic as well, Gemini. Which is possibly why it's causing you so much stress and worry and doubt and despair as well. In their subconscious, they have the Chariot. Chariot can also be seen as a card of balance, of trying to balance the head and the heart here in order to move forward with something. It feels to me as though this person how can I put this? How it's coming through. It feels like they, although they never planned for this, it wasn't like they planned for this to happen. It was like they knew on some deep level before it actually took place that they needed to move on, that this had already kind of come to an ending, that this cycle was kind of closing out. And they felt it on some level, that they had to move beyond this, they had to go forward. There was a reluctance here, there was something about them not wanting to, and they may have dug their heels in here. They may have been quite determined to try and keep things in the status quo, shall we say, keep things even if they weren't happy in this situation. It took them some time to actually come to that realization and to actually move out of this relationship or this place that they have been in, which could be an emotional distressed place as well. Like for quite some time in their life they could have been feeling this sense of deep despair and not knowing what to do. This is the card. The Chariot is the energy of Aries, Mars energy. Fast forward action, dynamic. This is Mars, this is war, this is yeah, fast forward. I know people call it the Cancer card. I have never been able to see that personally because Cancers just don't move directly. Cancers move sideways, but these horses need to be kept together in order to be able to focus your attention and to keep moving. So this is head and heart. It's balance. It's keeping things moving by not trying to control the situation too much. And the more you try to control it, the more out of hand and more the more competitive that it feels like this competitive energy, whether you had to kind of compete with somebody here. Or the cross watcher, the person that you had this energetic connection with, they're still, it feels like they're still kind of carrying this energy with them at this time. But it feels like they knew on some level that they had to make an escape. They had to leave that situation. They had to move on because their head and their heart wasn't balanced and they weren't happy. But it's been a situation that hasn't caused them, like it's caused them a lot of grief, a lot of despair, a lot of worry, which I feel has kind of had this knock-on effect with you as well, Gemini. If this is the person that you're energetically connected with now, I feel that this is more of a past. It just feels more like a past relationship here. Something from this person's past which is closing out. And maybe you feel guilty, Gemini, if you were the one that kind of instigated this, if, like, you know, if the two of you fell in love. But I'm not really seeing any love cards coming through here at this time. But we do have one that's just, oh, and you popping out as well. Okay. As I say that, we get the Four of Cups and the Six of Cups. So there has been, or there is going to be still this sense of, well, this is melancholy and this is a deep sense of sadness, again, kind of like trying to fill a void and not quite knowing how to go about it. As I said, I mean, this card came out 3 times and I was just like, whoa, that is so much despair in that one card 3 times. And that's kind of how this person is still feeling as they go into this future energy. They are reflecting, there is a lot of melancholy here. They are looking at all these cups here and seeing these as past situations. They have that one cup in their hand there, and that's what they're reflecting on, and they're asking themselves here, you know, I can't do anything about this down here. This is my past. I can't change any of that, but I can change what is to come in my future. And that is the only thing that I can really make a difference about or with, is the now energy, where I am now. How do I feel now? And they're slowly going to come around to that kind of realization. I feel and I think that it's going to take some time because the Four of Cups is in reverse here. And the Four of Cups is an energy of, It's like having the devil on your shoulder, a devil or the angel, like, you know, one of each on your shoulder, and you're kind of caught in that, in the middle of that, kind of trying to kind of find some serenity and some peace. And these 4 cups are kind of sitting there in front of her, representing this kind of balance of her emotions, but it's in reverse. Also, there's a sense of innocence and purity here as well, which is kind of carried through to the 6 there as well. When it's in reverse, it feels like an energy that, like I was saying, it's going to take some time for this person to reach this stage. I feel as though there's a lot of guilt here as well, that this person is really kind of beating themselves up in this situation. Whatever it is that's gone down, it feels as though this person is really blaming themselves for something. And they can't find any happiness. It doesn't matter what it is that they're trying to do here. It's kind of, everything leads back to this energy of kind of melancholy and sadness and sorrow. But the card that's also come out with this in reverse here, the Knight of Wands, is saying that they will eventually kind of find that courage, because the Knight of Wands is a fire energy. It is, again, fire, Aries energy, Sagittarius and Leo energy. Today for me it's coming through quite like this Mars energy down here, because they are both in reverse here as well. This energy is quite adventurous. It's also known as the player energy, particularly when it's in reverse, but it's also, it's kind of, the grass always seems to be greener on the other side of the fence. And so this person could also be kind of stuck in that place of like of fearing on some level that what they had like they're never going to find anything better. That this was their happiness. I will just say as well very quickly that Mars at this time is in reverse in the sky. He's retrograde, so he's going backwards. So there is a lot of everything is kind of on halt at the moment. Things aren't progressing, things aren't moving forward. So that could have a part to play in this scenario as well, that things kind of feel as though they may have been coming to some kind of stop here. I think this person is looking for some courage. I think they're hoping to find some deep courage within themselves in order to be able to move forward in this situation. I have 2 cards that have fallen out here. These are the Ask and It Is Given cards by Abraham Hicks. All the cards will be in the description box down below as well for anybody who's interested. We have 2 cards, and one of them is I will do my best to make the best of it, which I think is quite fitting with this 6 of Cups and the 4 of Cups and the Knight of Wands energy here. That's the kind of energy that I'm picking up and feeling, is that this person is kind of in this place of feeling that it doesn't matter what they do, they're never going to have happiness again. It's just like, it just feels this deep despair. So it says a key to regaining your feeling of empowerment is to decide right now that no matter how good or how bad you are feeling, you are going to do your best to make the best of it. Do that again and again, and in a short period of time, you will find yourself in a very good feeling place. So the advice for this person, which I don't feel is you, Gemini, I think this is the person you have an energetic connection with here. The advice is to keep reminding yourself when you're in this energy of melancholy and reflection and this sense of, oh, you know, I could have done this, I should have done this, if only I'd behaved like that instead, if only I'd thought about this. That's gone, that's past. You can't change that. You cannot change where the future has been. You can only change the now. You can only change the energy that you are in at this time. And so telling yourself that you can only do your best, no matter how kind of small that best may be to start with, and feeling that you can do your best, that it is your best, then eventually that best will become much larger in your life. You'll see things in a different way. You'll find yourself once again in that kind of happy place. And we have this card come out as well, which is saying, life is always in motion, so I cannot be stuck. So that's an interesting concept as well, is that although you may be feeling stuck, because life is forever moving forward and bringing in endings and new beginnings here, and ending out cycles. It is not possible to stand still or be stuck, because energy and therefore life is always in motion. Things are always changing. The reason it may feel to you as if you are stuck is because while you are continuing to think the same thoughts, things are changing. But they are changing to the same thing over and over. And that's what this energy here is. I feel this energy, all of this energy here, is saying that you are kind of creating that same scenario over and over again, or this person here, this person that you have this energetic connection with, Gemini, is creating that same. And this may also be why you don't feel as though you have anything to offer this person, or what you do have to offer this person is not going to be enough, which is why behind you, with all your fears and your doubts, you're kind of not moving forward as well. You're kind of hesitant, because again, you know, the energy that is pushing you forward is your fears and your doubts, because you are also in this place of fear and stress and worry and not knowing what to do for the best. So the only thing you really can do for the best at this time is just to remind this person that all they can do is their best. So I'm going to pull one more card from the Angel Oracle deck to see what messages they would like to give you, Gemini. Card for Gemini, please, and the person they have an energetic connection with. And it's saying, take a step back, which is kind of self-explanatory, really. Take a step back. Maybe if you're trying to be too full on with this as a relationship here, maybe it's time for you to take that step back in order to kind of become more of a supporting role rather than a relationship at this time. Because this person, if you're wanting, if this is somebody you're wanting to have a relationship with rather than somebody that you are leaving, if this is the person that you are wanting to connect with here, or you have connected with them, and you're there wanting to have a relationship with this person, even though they're having all this trauma at this time, it's kind of saying to me that the best thing for you to do is to kind of be a supporting role here rather than an actual relationship. So it says your angels are guiding you to take a step back and reflect before proceeding further. There is an excitable and action-orientated energy around you at this time, but you are being encouraged to review the situation before making any moves. Remember that you are a sensitive being, and should the correct steps and intentions not be lined up, you could open yourself up to harsh energies or a situation that could be limiting to your growth. In order to have the best experience and positive outcome, take some time now to meditate on your actions, intentions, visions, and goals. Call in your angels and invite them to guide you to make decisions that will be supportive of your expansion and highest good. And I feel that that's what this energy is about for you here as well, this confusion of not knowing what's the best thing to do in the situation, as I was saying before. So, Gemini, I'm going to leave your reading here and say that I really do hope that it has been of some help to you. And if it has, could you please thumbs it up for me, give me a like, because it really does help to grow my channel. It helps to get my videos out into a wider audience on the YouTube world. It really helps for other channels to be able to pick them up and for them to be recommended as well. If videos get recommended by people that people have already subscribed to, then they're much more likely to come back and watch that video as well, and hopefully subscribe to my channel. And thank you very much to those who have subscribed to my channel already. I really do appreciate you being here. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please could you do so, because that will also help to grow my channel and get my messages out to wherever they need to go. Also, if you there is a button on my videos at this time as well, so if you want to just tap that subscribe button in the corner down there, and it will open up with a bell thing where you can decide whether or not you want to get notifications for when I put them out. I do all the new moon, the full moon, all the zodiac signs. I do the astrology for the new and the full moons, as well as tarot readings as well. Also, comment if you feel like commenting. Leave me a comment so that I can get some feedback. It's nice to know if my videos are resonating, if they're helping anybody out there as well, rather than just me sitting here and talking to myself. Kind of really nice to connect with people out there. Also, share my videos if you feel that anybody out there is going to benefit from the message. If you know of anybody who's having a hard time going through a situation like this, then please feel free to share and hopefully help them to understand on a deeper level what is actually happening in their lives as well. Because when we get into these situations of despair, it's really very difficult to see the wood for the trees and to be able to kind of rise above the energy that we have found ourselves sinking down into as well. So on that note, Gemini, I am going to leave your reading and say thank you very much for listening and watching, and please take really good care of yourselves, and take good care of anybody else around you at this time, and hopefully I will see you again soon.